Hello, good morning and welcome to Newsroom here on GHOne Television with me, Awisi, Dede, Djangay. Let's take a look at our headlines this morning. And this morning, Ghana Education Service orders Dodi Penyi, headmaster, involved in sexual misconduct to immediately step down as the investigations on the matter continues. A year after 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections, we give the microphone back to political parties, political analysts, and most importantly, you, for an assessment of governance a year on. Later in this bulletin, we shine the spotlight on a 30-year-old woman braving odds in palm industry while lending an arm to upcoming women. Stay with us for a special feature with GHOne Ajete. High Court in Accra dismisses application filed by embattled Ashanti Regional Chairman of MPP Bernard Entry Bosiako seeking further disclosures as without merit. And also on the international front, 100 abducted school children released in Nigeria. We have details of these and many more coming up shortly. Stay with me. Grateful for your company. This morning, the news is coming to you live from our Platinum studio here in Accra, and it's also streaming live on Facebook at GHOne TV. I am Awisi, Dede, Djangay. This morning, in Ghana's thriving palm oil industry, where heavy machinery rules the landscape, and women are often expected to stay on the sidelines, one woman is breaking through every barrier. She's not just a truck driver, she's a trained engineer, a mother, and a fearless advocate for gender equality in a male-dominated field. My colleague GHOne Ajete brings you a story of Francisca Afiu, who is using her voice to fight for women.
In the heart of Ghana's industrial belt, where machines roar, trucks rumble, and the scent of palm kernels hangs thick in the air, there is a woman rewriting the rules of an entire industry. Amid towering silos and burning furnaces, where oil palm feeds more than 80% of products in the supermarket shelves, one driver stands out, not just for her skill, but for her courage. In Kwai, in the eastern region, the sight of a woman behind the wheels of a heavy-duty truck is almost unheard of. But 30-year-old Wawe Francisca Afiu moves through the tight factory lanes of the Ghana Oil Plantation Development Company with the ease of a seasoned engineer because she is one.
System no more Ghana. Headrest is the dorsal, Sintress dorsal, beauticians with dorsal. So me per se, me creative baby a be inspire and more because we know so a dorsal what you say a dorsal to me so me per se. Me bomb me home bema to me maybe I can do it better than the men.
Francisca's journey began in Pong Katamanso, where she hawked seafood between speeding vehicles. Life was tough, but it taught her resilience, a skill that would later shape her future.
Just third year was straight now I'm so very young at the age of 4, class 4, and I'm yes I GHOne sister, I don't say GHOne de woo. And say one day meeting and I say, I have to do something. I was saying GHOne. Now headrest test near Yisua. any many so any me taste means me.
Her turning point came unexpectedly through a newspaper advertisement from their Didome 5-Star Engineering Institute calling on young women to train as tractor operators.
Yeah, me say one is a Bruce or not more per 30 that Friday na misaka daily graphic no and I had the deadline. And see me na me or buy me toss with 31.
But enrolling was just the start. With only a junior high school certificate, Francisca found herself in a class filled with students who already had engineering backgrounds. The pressure was intense, but she pushed through. And by the end of the program, she emerged the best in her class, outperforming even trained engineering students.
For more university and agriculture engineering, those course crap funny easy. Francisca na you be a first or funny back sell or tentise or bed journey because of near church, you know. But me too me was a kakakra na man from Adria and culture in so now midi Madria co practicals no so. Me cash ready any say after the 1 month training, me na head mo bomb baso kesi.
In 2021, she secured a job at the GOPDC. Today, as a mother of 2, Francisca says many women quit because of the harsh realities in male-dominated workplaces.
But most of them no omajai complication bia omunya ni say ebi mu in a month no they have period no 2 times and this job no easy. Actually 7 years sir you can say or Becca say or funny is easy. And yeah, easy. Sometimes location the road is good. Sometimes location the road is very, very bad. And yet try and call na my name tree. Metimetri wheel loader cheaper and excavator so I have some small knowledge of it.
Union interventions, she says, have made a significant difference. The General Agricultural Workers Union, GHOne, has conducted research, training and sensitization programs with support from FNV Mondial, focusing on occupational safety and violence-free workplaces.
And then there are other policies that are friendly, a win-win for both management and then for both for the workers as well. So over here we have certain policies like the whistleblower policy, we have the non-abusive verbal policy, we have policies that equally protect our women when it comes to sexual harassment as well.
Management acknowledges the challenges and says the company is committed to ensuring gender inclusion.
Initially, harvesting was for only men, but when it comes to GOPDC, we have women who are also doing harvesting. They have well been trained to do harvesting. We have even given them motivation. Okay, so women inclusion is very key. When it comes to the community level, we have women who also own palm plantations. So training are given to them to ensure that their yields increase.
Some of the women on the plantation told GHOne News their experience working side by side with the men in demanding roles.
In normal circumstances, obi ane senia na pomu diete. Obi wo ho a ono so okoto no sesa loose na enha no. Ba obi wo ho so okoto no sesa loose na enha no. Nti eno no sa no company ne de nhyehyɛ bi ato wo se nipa ni nyanyinse nko a yemmo omasonte na yemfa ne nko another operation. Adwuma we no both sex obema to me obanso to me. Fan say ya ha ne de mostly na mati tru ne wa.
Loose for ne sesa medio mechi se ne be ya ombe sesa ne ye uja o mechi de omunye adwuma ne ye. Na se no be yi azos mesa omen yi azos man oman ye adwuma ne ye mpenfo no ba sa na no be di absent nse so hwe no mo sesa loose ne ye.
The assembly member for Kwai, Evans Azuma, says GOPDC has created opportunities for youth, especially women across the community.
You are not find any job to do. It is where that you sometimes think of going to do or going to steal or anything of that sort. But when you are engaged in something, I don't think, and it's helping them. Ever since I came, none of them have even come to me that, oh, honorable place, today I'm not getting money to eat. But because of GOPDC, yes, get, some work to do. It's helping them to improve their lives.
Despite the odds, Francisca isn't stopping. She is now championing reforms, calling for fair wages, mentorship and clear policies that support skilled women and ensure they are not overlooked in the industry. She believes a just workplace is possible and she is behind the wheel, driving that change. Reporting for GHOne and Star News, Rosemond Akwoko Ajeti.
Now to the Volta region, the Ghana Education Service has directed the headmaster of Dede Penyi Senior High School to step aside immediately over allegations of sexual misconduct involving some female student. The directive issued by the Volta Regional Directorate of Education under instructions from the Director General follows emerging report accusing the headmaster of inappropriate conduct with female students. According to the letter issued on December 6, the headmaster has been ordered to hand over all official duties, document and school property to the Municipal Director of Education for Ketu North. He is also expected to vacate the school premises by today, December 8. After completing the handover, the Ghana Education Service says the move is an administrative measure to safeguard the integrity of ongoing investigations. The headmaster is, however, required to remain available to assist with investigations and also refrain from any form of contact with the affected student or potential witnesses. Well, let's go over to the region and speak to our Volta regional correspondent, Benjamin Makafui Atipo. He joins me on phone. Benjamin, always a pleasure to have you on the bulletin. I want to find out from you, were you able to visit the school today?
Yes, I reached out to the school and I can confirm that the headmaster has vacated the premises of the school and no more available for him to be seen. Secondly, the final year student in question, who has been allegedly impregnated by the headmaster, has also been taken away from the school by the father. Then there's also a second girl involved in this whole brouhaha, a first-year girl who has also accused the headmaster of sexually assaulting her. That girl has also been taken away from the school. And so this is the current situation. But then the Municipal Director of Education will assume full responsibility of the administration of the school from tomorrow because they will have to go through some processes of handing over, which is being done today, and by tomorrow, the Municipal Director of Education will assume full responsibility. So this is the situation as we speak now.
Do we know the ages of these girls?
Yes, for the final year student, she is below 18 years. And then the first-year girl is 14 years old. And as we speak now, one is in Aflao, one is in Accra. So they are off campus as we speak now, Dede.
So when you visited the school, what was the mood like?
Well, I must say there is calm in the school. The school is going about its normal academic work as we expect. The teachers are going about their duties normally. and so there's no problem. There's calm in the school. I also understand that the police are investigating the matter because it has to do with, this offense, which is against our laws as a country. And so the police are doing their part, and the school is also running its program until they vacate by the end of this month or before the Christmas festivities.
So beyond these two girls in question, were you able to speak to some of the students? Did they tell you how their interactions with this particular headmaster has been so far? Is he a one-off thing, or it's something that he's been doing over the years?
Well, it's a multi-situation. These allegations are flowing all over. And so what we gathered on the ground is that these two students have gathered the courage to come out and say this. And so the allegations are there, except that the police will get to the bottom of it. But it appears, allegedly, that is what has been going on. And so some say that allegedly it is covered and that has been full now. And so they are hoping that the police will go deeper into it. And then when the allegations are proven, then the laws will take their course. So that is what is on the ground, Dede.
Right. I'll leave you to it so that you gather more information for us for our subsequent bulletin. Thank you so much, McCaffrey Atikpo Benjamin. He's our Volta regional correspondent, bringing us up to speed what is happening in that particular school. Let's hop on to the court now, because the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAC, has hailed the passage of constitutional instruments that regulate conditions of service for judicial staff after over 3 decades after it had been laid before Parliament and has now matured into law. The association believes the new CI is essential for establishing a stronger and more comprehensive welfare system for its members. Now, speaking at the Annual General Assembly of the Judicial Service Staff Cooperative Fund, a national president of JUSAC, Samuel Afote, recounted the long journey toward this achievement.
Mr. Chairman, God's timing indeed is perfect. With a new government in place, a new Attorney General, and a new chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee, we were once again required to restart the process. The acting Chief Justice at the time gave us his full support. And in that, he gave us his full support by leading us to the Jubilee House to have some interactions with the Chief of Staff and then other dignitaries at the Office of the Presidency in May 2025. And in that same May 2025, we had secured presidential approval from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Subject to fiscal impact analysis, which we completed in no time. When we returned to Parliament, Honorable Patrick Buama and his committee engaged us thoroughly, culminating in the laying of the CI on 24th June 2025, a day of great joy for all staff of the Judicial Service. My Lord Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafoboni, consistently kept an eye on the process and encouraged us at every stage. It is no coincidence that November 2025 became a month of double celebration. I said double celebration because the CI matured into law as the Judicial Service Terms and Conditions of Service Regulation 2025 CI 141. And His Lordship, the then Acting Chief Justice, Justice Paul Bafoboni, was confirmed and sworn in as Chief Justice.
Still on court-related issues, the High Court in Accra has dismissed an application filed by the embattled Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP, Bernard Enchi Bosiako, seeking further disclosures as without merit. The regional chairman, affectionately called Chairman Wuntumi, per his motion filed, moved by his lawyers, led by Andy Apiakubi, was requesting 3 documents, including a document purported to have been signed by Chairman Wuntumi granting mining operations. The Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsai, opposed the request on the ground that it is an agreement by conduct and the witness statement shows that. Chairman Wuntumi has been charged together with Kwame Enchi, a director of Akonta Mining, who is currently at large, and Akonta Mining, the company itself. So let's get more information on this matter. Our legal affairs correspondent Murtala Inusa was in court, and he joins us with more details of this. Murtala, what more are we learning on Chairman Wuntumi's case?
Well, I would say Dede, at the last court sitting, lawyers for Chairman Wuntumi, led by Andy Apiakubi, indicated that they have a request to make the 4-case management conference, which was scheduled for that day, begin. And the point was that the court granted him the opportunity to file the processes by last week Monday, and then the AG served by last week Friday, so that today, when the parties appear in court, the court will take the motion. When it was called, it appeared to the court that the Office of the Attorney General have not been served with that particular motion. Despite the fact that they have not been served with the motion, Deputy Attorney General Dr. Jesus Tremsai indicated to the court that they are waiving their right to file affidavit in opposition. They will respond on a point of law, and so the motion be moved. Andy Apiakubi moved the motion and asked that they haven't seen the Attorney General conclude on case management disclosure of documents. There are certain documents that they feel are in the possession of the state, and therefore it will help in the prosecuting of their defense. And so the court should compel the Attorney General to furnish them with those documents. The Deputy Attorney General opposed to the request, while responding on the point of law, indicated that the issue in question is by way of conduct, the conduct of Chairman Wuntumi, and the witnesses that will be paraded in court will have the opportunity to make references to that, to testify that. So that document that they are requesting for, and it's not document that they have currently. Deputy Attorney General also make the point that when it comes to disclosures, it is a process, and at any point in time when the issue comes to the fore or comes to the attention of the Attorney General, the court can make an order that it be produced or the accused persons be served with that. Justice Audrey Kokuvite listening to the parties, the motion filed, the processes attached to it, and then having listened to the oral submissions of the parties, was of the considered view that there's no disclosure in the possession of the Attorney General, and so that request cannot hold. Consequently, that motion from Chairman Wuntumi through his lawyers has been dismissed. Now the court has fixed December 15th for the parties to reconverge for the case management conference to occur. So basically, that is what transpired court moments this morning when Chairman Wuntumi appeared and moved in motion.
Well, Musa, let's talk about other cases that were called today. The Sky Train has been called yet. What more are we learning on that?
So there is a motion before the same court presided over by Justice Audrey Kokuvite, and the indication is that the first accused person, Mr. Solomon Asamoah, who is the former CEO of GIF, is seeking some bail variation. And of course, the Attorney General has opposed to that. That particular point in time, when this morning it came to the fore, the lawyers of the Solomon Asamoah were given the opportunity to move, but counsel who represented the first accused person who was holding brief for Mrs. Victoria Bath indicated that he doesn't know of that information. He is not aware of what has been filed. The AG, its affidavit in opposition, has raised certain issues that has not come to their attention. In fact, Deputy Attorney General, as it were, was not happy with that because whatever they have, so it is an attempt to have the proceedings or the case before the court delayed.
Okay, we seem to have lost Murtala. Okay, we seem to have lost Murtala. Okay, carry on, Murtala. Okay, we are struggling to hear Mutala wrap up. But that was our legal affairs correspondent, Mutala Inusa, bringing us what we know in court today. Away from that, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG, has rejected the recent utility tariff increases announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, insisting that the adjustments are unjustified and must be reversed immediately. In a press release, the association rejected the PURC's decision to raise electricity tariff by 9.8% and water tariffs by 15.9%. According to the group, this decision comes at a time when the Electricity Company of Ghana and the Ghana Water Company are yet to account for inefficiencies, losses and mismanagement, issues that were recently flagged by Parliament's Public Account Committee. The association insists that ECG in particular has become a threat to national productivity, arguing that instead of enabling growth, the utility company now drains trust and economic strength from all sectors. FABAG believes the PURC must not ignore the systematic problems within the ECG and the Ghana Water Company, and is urging government to reset and reform the two institutions before any further tariff adjustment. The group further noted the Ghanaian consumers must no longer be made to pay for what it describes as the incompetence and corruption of these utility providers. Well, we are joined on Zoom by GHOne Awisi, the Executive Chairman for the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. Good to have you on the program, sir. You described the tariff increment as unjustified. Why?
Good afternoon, and then to your viewers. My name is Reverend GHOne Awuni. I'm the Chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana.
Okay. Reverend GHOne Awuni, forgive me. You described the tariff as unjustified. You have concerns. What are your major concerns with that increment?
Thank you so much. We are very much perplexed at the fact that the PRC, and for that matter, the government of Ghana has decided to go ahead to increase the utility tariffs for ECG and then water by a cumulative of 25.7%. When they just increased workers' salaries effective January 1 by 9%. Now, if you have increased workers' salary by 9% and then turn around and then increase the utilities tariffs by 25.7% cumulatively, question is, where do you expect the workers to get the extra money to pay for those utilities? Because the tariffs have already been high, and now you've still gone ahead to increase the tariffs for these utilities. It's like sending a child to go and buy you footwear 30 cedis, and yet you have given that child 10 cedis. Indeed, if the government, and for that matter, the PURC, goes ahead to allow these tariffs to come into force in January, then it will, in our opinion, amount to sanctioning corruption in the country.
What do you mean by that? I would want to understand your point of view. So
my point of view, okay.
Please land.
My point of view is that you have increased worker salary by 9% and increased utilities by 25.7%. So the balance of the percentage, where are the workers going to get the money from? What it means is that do whatever you can do behind the doors to raise money to pay for the excess, because you are if I am earning 1,000 cedis at the end of the month and then you have increased my salary by 9%. That's just like 90 cedis or so. And so 90 cedis, it means that, and then you have gone to increase utilities by almost 200 and something percent, 200 and something cedis. Where am I going to get the extra money to pay that? That means is that when people come to the office to do work, try and do whatever you can do behind the scenes, privatize your desks and make money so that you can pay the excess. Other than that, Where do you expect the person to get the money? That's our number one reason for saying that this tariff must be suspended. Our second reason for saying that this tariff must be suspended is that we all saw what happened at the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament. We saw the embarrassing moment that the ECG went through. We saw the exposure of the fact that they had overrun their budget by as much as 189%. We saw the exposure that their expenditure had ballooned from 1 billion to 8.3 billion by 700% increment. We saw the exposure of the technical and commercial losses of about 32%, which makes ECG among the worst in Africa. We saw the exposure of the ECG inflation of their training and technical expenses and all that. We all saw those embarrassing moments they went through. Indeed, we are expecting the government, or we are expecting the ECG for that matter, to come out and explain to Ghanaians what went wrong and then what they have put in place in measurable terms to prevent the reoccurrence of what happened in Parliament, but not to sweep this cancer, sweep this massive losses, this mismanagement, this corruption, this waste under the carpet.
How does that got to do with the tariff for educational purposes? How does what happened in the Public Accounts Committee, the embarrassing moment, as you put it, how does that got to do with the tariff increment you're asking about?
The tariff increment you are asking Ghanaians to pay, I am paying. And I realize that this is an institution, they say that I must pay addition to keep the institution running.
Okay.
Yet this institution is showing massive waste.
Okay, I get you.
How does it correlate?
Okay, so in a sense, do you have alternatives that you think?
Before I can pay more, then I need an account to justify why I should pay more.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. We really do not have time now. That was Reverend GHOne Awuni. He's the Executive Chairman for the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, speaking to me there. This is Newsroom here on GHOne TV. We'll be back after this break. You're welcome back to the program. President Mahama is assuring Ghanaians he will work every day to create opportunities, restore hope, and rebuild trust in the country's institutions. In a Facebook post to commemorate 1 year since his election, he said his commitment to reset in Ghana agenda remains on course. There's more.
Sunday marked exactly 1 year since President John Dramani Mahama was elected on December 7, 2024, returning to the presidency with a promise to reset the nation's economic and governance foundations. Over the past 12 months, the Mahama administration has implemented a series of reforms, policy initiatives that were promised to boost the country's political and economic landscape. One of the administration's headline achievements, according to experts, has been progress in stabilizing the economy. Inflation, which hovered around 23.8% at the end of 2024, is now at a single digit of 6.3% at the end of November. The city has also showed signs of improved stability, contributing to renewed investor confidence. The administration's move to abolish several unpopular taxes, including the e-levy and the betting tax, has also been welcomed by businesses and consumers. Several investigations into alleged mismanagement under the previous administration were initiated within the first 100 days, fulfilling the administration's promise to restore transparency and accountability in the public affairs. Despite the progress, analysts warn that sustained success will depend on the government's ability to maintain fiscal discipline. Global economic uncertainty also poses potential risk to Ghana's recovery momentum. Many analysts have called for more efforts in the fight against illegal mining, Galamsey. In the coming years, observers note will be decisive in determining whether these early efforts deliver long-lasting impact nationwide.
Well, we will speak to a political analyst, Dr. Asante Okyere, in a bit. But let's hop onto social media. A lot of you have been commenting on what the president posted, and my colleague Nurain is in the studio with what you've been saying on social media. Nurain.
Well, Awisi Dede, as of this morning, it's been 366 days since over 6 million Ghanaians, essentially across the length and breadth of the country, endorsed President Mahama's bid to return to the Jubilee House. We asked you on social media, what is your expectation or thoughts of its first year? On X, Yusuf Abdulrazak says, thank you, Mr. President. So far, so good. But we, the workers of Ghana, have had to go through very difficult moments this year because the finance ministry has not given us our due in terms of our salaries and allowances for this year. Next, on X, Setraba says, thank you for the messages, JDM Mahama. Just don't feel the use of the country. Otherwise, the worst will happen because we are not ready for the NPP in power again. Military takeover will be the next option, so don't fail Ghanaians. Next on X, we have needless. And what have you achieved to better the average citizens' lives? So on X, engineer Nana Kweku says, based on this biggest boss JDM, please, with the greatest of respect, let oral work. Most of us voted because of oral. If oral fails, no Ghanaian will ever trust politicians, and your legacy term will not be fulfilled. Apple Guy says, 1 year on, but riots, your own citizens leaving their country because of violence, high cost of living, scammed 24-hour economy, lied to teachers, old celebrities, dying like flies, no water to drink, high cost of electricity, data citizens can't afford, etc. So yeah, a lot is going on. When we move on to Instagram, Dario Farm says, in Sawum Kumasi Road, dollar stabilization and many more is a great sign. God bless our president. Machiavelli Percy says exactly 365 days ago that Ghanaians decided to go for a change, and it's actually working for us all. Last one here by Casa Batreat GH says, the best decision we ever made. There is hope for the future. 1 year gone, 3 more years ago, we can only wish the president the best of luck in his quest to reset Ghana. I am Nurain Abbas. Dede, back to you.
Thanks so much, Nurain, for bringing us what people have been saying on social media. But it's just 1 year, and we want to find out if 1 year is enough to access the president's work so far. Dr. Okyere joins me on phone to have a conversation on this. Doc, good to have you on the program. How would you assess this administration performance so far? Hello, Doc, can you hear me? Hello, Dr. Asante Otre. If you can hear me, I was asking, how would you assess the NDC's administration so far? Okay, so we seem to have lost Dr. Asante Otre there, but let's do other stories. Now, Programs Manager at CDD Ghana, Paul Mensah Abrompa, says President Mahama's performance can truly be assessed from next year when Ghanaians expect to see the structures he has put in place bear fruit. His comment is in reaction to a year since Ghanaians voted for the NDC, which saw a return of President Mahama to the presidency. Speaking earlier on GH Today, Mr. Abrompa said policies like the 24-hour economy are long-term policies that can take time to mature.
No, I think the 24-hour economy, you see the committee that has been formed. Yes. And you also read the budget. A whole provision has been made in the budget to do that. While we can't go in to measure whether it is or not, it's a long-term promise that the president made, just like one district, one factory. It doesn't mature within 6 months. So it would be unfair to the government if you say we are going to use that promise to assess within 1 year. It will very much be unfair. But the good thing is that you will see indications of attempts to actualize it. So we can only do that measurement from second and the third year to see whether the structure set to implement the agenda has actually come forth.
The Kolebu Teaching Hospital says its breast surgical unit is overstretched as breast cancer cases continue to surge. General Surgeon the breast surgical unit, Dr. Josephine Insafo, who doubles as the president of the Breast Society of Ghana, revealed that the unit records about 600 new cases of breast cancer every year, with many seeking help only in advanced stages. There's more.
The president of the Breast Society of Ghana, Dr. Josephine Insafo, has described the upsurge in breast cancer cases as alarming, stating that the statistics pose a significant public health challenge that demands urgent attention. She encouraged intensified awareness campaigns, early detection efforts, and improved access to treatment to curb the growing burden of breast cancer in the country.
We are also, overwhelmed with a large number of patients to attend to. I think we have one of the longest clinics at the surgical department. And the patients we see, a lot of them are coming with advanced breast cancer. Indeed, it will help if we had more cancer centers across the country so that some of the burden is lifted off the existing teaching hospitals. Radiation, for instance, they are only at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, so only Accra and Kumasi, and the whole country is queuing there. So if we had more cancer centers, specifically with radiotherapy machines, and of course the human resource to be able to man this equipment, it will certainly make a huge difference.
Speaking at the launch of the Jidula Pink Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to breast cancer awareness, the founder of the foundation, Fafa Gozo, called for a collective action from health stakeholders, policymakers, and the general public in reversing the trend and safeguarding the health of women across Ghana, as well as called for more cancer centers to tackle breast cancer diagnosis.
Every month, people need to get screened. They need to get checked. If we don't do it this way, people will assume the screening can only be done in October. No. It should go beyond October. And with the Jidula, it is not just about screening in October. No. Every quarterly, we are coming out with a project.
Jidula, which means conqueror or courage, seeks to advocate for more breast cancer centers across the country to be able to treat patients who are far and near.
It's time for business now.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana. Passion for tech.
The country head of Empole Insurance, Dr. Rafiq, has described Ghana's insurance sector as an emerging market brimming with untapped potential. He noted that while insurance coverage in Ghana has crossed the 45% mark, it still falls short of what is required to drive national transformation. Speaking during the official transition from Metropolitan Insurance to MPOL Insurance, Dr. Rafiq argued that with effective strategies and innovations, insurance can help propel the country from a lower income status into a higher income economy.
Metropolitan Insurance, one of Ghana's oldest and highly recognized players in the insurance space, has taken a new identity, MPOL Insurance. This transition represents a significant milestone in the country's evolution and underscores its renewed commitment to offering greater value and improved service to its clients. Speaking to the media after the transition, Country Head of MPOL, Dr. Rafiq Daudi, called for innovative strategies to maximize the untapped potential of the insurance industry.
Ghana is an emerging market, as you would know, and the Ghana's economy is fairly stable compared to the rest of Africa. And insurance penetration in Ghana is pretty low. If you look at insurance as a ratio of our GWP, we are talking about something under 1%. So it means that there's so much opportunity. Though insurance coverage has, grown significantly over the period, now estimated at around 45% of the population having insurance, but it's still not enough.
President of the Insurance Brokers Association of Ghana, Shaibu Ali, welcomed the rebrand, describing it as a move that will energize the insurance market.
I'm excited about this development, the entry of this new brand onto the Ghana market, taking over Metropolitan Life. It is something that would engineer a lot of activity in the industry. We look forward to what they bring on board, what technology, what innovation and all that they bring on board. A new takeover is always good because it brings about new energy and new drive, and people want to do the new things. And so I'm hopeful that MPOL coming in is going to bring something new to the Ghana insurance industry.
Board Chairman of MPOL Ghana, Kwame Gajo, on his part, highlighted that the rebrand signals a broader mission to elevate African excellence onto the global insurance stage.
We are already known already. We have established a legacy in the market. I mean, people know Metropolitan, So we are going to go a step further with this new acquisition by MPOL Group. We are going to have access to the international network, and that will enable us to be able to bring on board some of the products that they have already trusted in countries like Nigeria onto this market. So watch out for this space. A lot of things are going to happen.
With renewed leadership commitments and industry-wide support, stakeholders say the rebrand positioned the company to drive deeper penetration, expand innovation, and contribute more meaningfully to Ghana's economic growth.
That's all for business. It's time for sports.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Welcome to sports. And of course, I'm sure you know now that Ghana is in a group at the World Cup. That's in Group L with England, Panama, and Croatia. What you might not be aware, though, is the venues for these games. So on your screens now are the match venues and also first of all against Panama on day one, where we'll play against Panama in Toronto, in Canada. That's the first game for Ghana in Toronto against Panama. Then England will take on Croatia in Dallas in match day one. Match day two, see Ghana hosting England. That's a big game. That will be hosted in Boston. The date and the time also there for you on your screens, 23rd of June at 16 hours. That is the USA time. So in Ghana, it will be around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. there-ish. That's when the Ghana game against England will be held in Boston in the USA. Then our third group game will be against Croatia in Philadelphia, also in the US, 27th of June at 5 p.m. US time. That's around 12 a.m. thereabout Ghana time. So these are the match venues and the games for Ghana and the times. Ghana's game will be played in Group L at the upcoming FIFA World Cup next year, June. It will be an amazing time for all Ghanaians as we follow this particular feat for our Black Stars team at the World Cup. Let's go on from that to some action in the Ghana Premier League, which the weekend saw some interesting results. Loads of teams losing, including the two biggest teams in Ghana, Hartford and Kotoko, all losing over the weekend. In Hohoi, first of all, Kotoko lost to Hohoi by 1-0. Samatas also beat Gold Stars, the defending champions, by 2-0. Dreams FC won 2-1 against Bechim. Vision drew goalless with Young Apostles. Mediama came from behind to defeat Brekum Chelsea by 2-1. Rihanna Stars were held by Holy Stars to a goalless drawn game. Karela beat the Phobians, House of Folk, by 2-0. In Tamale, interesting results there in a GPL. Now, on the back of Kotoko's defeat in Ohio against Ohio United, the coach for Kotoko, Zito, has apologized profusely to Kotoko for their poor showing and the defeat he suffered at the hands of Ohio United over the weekend in the GPL.
I'm disappointed in my boys, especially the first half, because I want them. Don't sit down for somebody to beat us before you come back into the game. So I'll use it this way that somehow we were tactical discipline in the first half. By the second half, we came back into the game, but putting the ball into the net was another factor. Already that was our main problem this year. So I think we didn't do well in the first half. We didn't do well at all. But the second half was better. We're still fighting. The team is full of midfielders. You understand me? And there's nothing I would say. Whatever you have to use what you have to try to get what you wanted. But at the end of the day, this is football for you. But I know my supporters will be disappointed, but I'll stand on behalf of my team to apologize to them that they should still have confidence. It's not.
Very sorry, Karim Dito, apologizing to the Kotoko faithfuls for that defeat. That's it for us in sports. Up next, though, is GHOne.
And the Asomafo has passed away. She died in the early hours of Sunday, 7th December 2025. The group's manager, Nana Poku Ashes, confirmed that she had been battling illness for several weeks. He noted that Enotiwa will be fondly remembered for her selflessness and the countless sacrifices she made for Yao Sapon and the entire group. According to him, for more than 40 years, Enotiwa dedicated her life to supporting the ministry and ensuring Yao Sapon's well-being.
Well, news coming in right now says the Interior Ministry has ordered a probe into alleged assassination attempt on Special Prosecutor. There's a statement, and I'll briefly take you through shortly. The attention of the Ministry of Interior has been drawn to information that the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Kisi Ejabin, has survived 2 assassination attempts while discharging his duties to the Republic. The Director of Strategy, Research and Communications at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Samuel Apiadako, mentioned the assassination attempt on a television station in Accra on December 6, 2025. He also claimed on the same program that he had been handcuffed and beaten by 17 police personnel. Beyond the security implications of these claims, such dangers to personnel of accountability institutions, if true, can undermine the government's effort to combat corruption, which have intensified since it took office. The ministry has therefore taken up the matter with the seriousness it deserves. Here are some preliminary findings of the alleged assassination attempt. Initial contacts with Mr. Kisi Ejabin have revealed that the assassination attempt on him, as claimed, happened before this year. And there is also no record or report of such threat against his life at any police station or at any of the state security agencies in the country. The Minister of Interior has further directed that since crime does not expire, the ministry has ordered a full-scale investigations into the claim of assassination attempt. And the ministry has also ordered an investigation into the claim by Mr. Samuel Apiadako that he was handcuffed and beaten by 17 police personnel. So if you're just joining us, this is a news coming in where the Interior Ministry has ordered a probe into alleged assassination attempt on the Special Prosecutor, Kisi Ejabin. Let's have international news now. A Catholic school in central Nigeria last month have been released according to authorities. Niger State Police Chief Adamu Abdullahi and Bishop GHOne, who oversees the school as the local Catholic leader, told the news team they had both received confirmation of students' freedom. They said the information was relayed by the president's national security advisor. However, Bishop GHOne noted that it remains uncertain when the children will be united with their families. The attack saw more than 250 students and 12 staff taken from St. Mary's Catholic School in Pariri, marking yet another mass abduction in the country. And that'll be all for Newsroom here on GHOne Television. Have a wonderful afternoon.